Right, yeah, here we go. We're going to paint the cat. Now I'm going to paint this cat black and white. Um, Keep it quite simple, and you could do it any colour you want. You could do a brown and white cat, orangey cat. It's up to you. I'm going to first paint the majority of the cat because I'm not sure what colour background I want yet. So I want to start getting in the eyes, the colouring in the eyes, before I decide on the background. That's a choice you can make. If you know what background you're going to put in, um, get the background in to start with. It's always better to have the background first. I'm just holding off a bit. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, I've already drawn the cat on. I'm going to paint the cat's inner sides of his ears first. And I'm just going to paint that. You can do a bit of a pinky colour. I'm going with a bit of a skin tone colour. Probably a bit of red in that might work well. And it's just a matter of choice. But as I said, I'm not going for detail. I'm just keeping this plain and simple. So I've got his eyes in. Oh, his ears in. Now I'm going to work on the eyes. So the reason that I'm working on the eyes is I'm working from the eyes out. That way I'm not leaning over paint to paint the eyes. And once again, do it either way you would like. Just got a message. Yeah, sorry about that. I had a message I couldn't ignore. Get myself organised again. So the eyes. Now the eyes I'm going with a teal and white mix. So it's just to lighten up that teal a bit. And I'm going to paint the rounds of the eyes in. I'm not worried about making mistakes too much at this stage. Just roughly getting that, because I'm going to go around with black after this, around the outsides of the blue. And we want the eyes to be the same size. Look, my drawing's not perfect. I don't use the stencil. This is the original, so I've just quickly sketched it on. If you're using the stencil, those eyes will be the same size. So I've got a base of teal down. It's always good to put a base down first, and now I can start just doing a bit of shading on those eyes. The way I'm going to do that is just run some eye white around that inner edge and then just pull it out. Don't want to overdo it, it'll look ridiculous. Just enough to get that feel that it's an eye. Right. Now, I could wait for it to dry, but I'm not. I'm just going to continue on. Now I've got to get these inside bits right. So I've got to get these the same size. If they're not the same size, it will not look good at all. This is one. I reckon this one's going to be right to touch up some of that blue. That's okay. too. Wash my brush right out so it's not contaminated. And just touch up those blue spots. Oh, now that I've got that black, I'm just going to rake some of that black out into the blue. Sort of like a little starry effect, a little streaks coming out. You don't want to overdo it though. Alright, that's that done. Now I'm not going to put the whites of the eyes in until that paint's dry. I'm definitely going to hold off for that. Now white, I've got a medium round brush. I'll put some white around the inside edge of this ear. So I'm going to put a bit of black on now just to see the background, what colour I want to go with the background. Right. Better go get some paint. I'll be back. Okay, so I got my paint for the background. I'm going with a pastel purple, light purple. Try that. Well, I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to use this tone of it around the cat. Then I might get a bit darker as I get to the edges of the picture. Just do a test first. And I'm just slapping it on, just getting the base of that purple down. Now the reason I have to get the background in now because when I do the streaks of the hair, it's got to overlap the background, so it's important. Now at this stage, once I go around the ears, I want it to appear in front of the background, so I've got to have that background down first. I'm just going to do a pinch of purple on the outside. That's it. The background's not so flat now. I'm breaking it up just with a pinch of purple. Right. Just quickly get this background in. Might even, towards the end, bring the background around here. I'll hold off on that at the moment. Just the frame, but I'm thinking I might look good framing the entire cat instead of doing it as like a portraiture. Slapping that purple on. So make sure you fill up all the pores in the canvas. Acrylic paints Once it dries, it'll dry darker, and the white pores that are underneath, if you haven't filled them, they will stand out. Oops, got some green there. I don't know how I managed that. The brushes I use are a big flat brush. Usually for a background I'll use a brush a bit bigger than this, but I didn't grab one for some reason. So I'm using the medium-sized flat brush. So I've got a big flat brush, a medium-sized flat brush. I've also got a small to medium flat brush, a medium round brush, and a small round brush for finer details. That's pretty much what I use for every picture when using acrylics. A bit dark on this side, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, that's good. Alright, back to his eyes. I've got to use my small round brush now. And I just want to paint around the outside of that blue. See, maybe more on the brush. I'm trying not, and this is what I was talking about before, I can't put my hand down because I've got wet paint now because of the background. It is important to try and keep this a round circle. If you're having troubles, grab a coin or a bottle top that's the right size, let it dry out, then draw a pencil line around the bottle top of the coin. Oops, I made a mistake then, I have to touch that one up. On this case, because I'm using black, I'm just going to let it dry out because I'm not going to get rid of that black line. And I'll touch it up with a blue. Sometimes some colours, the lighter colours, you'll rub it off and you'll get rid of pretty much all of it. Black's very temperamental. Corners of the eyes. Just filling them in. Corner of the eye. Now I just want to frame it with some grey so we distinguish where the eye part is and the fur. So let's mix some grey. This might not stay. It's just an indicator for me. Might be a good idea to let the black dry a bit too. Right into that. So I've got the eyes in. I've framed the eyes with the grey. I now know, other than those couple of touch-ups I've got to do in the blue, I now know not to touch anything in those eyes except for the whites of the eyes and that little bit of blue. I can even, it's dry enough now, I can do the whites on those eyes. I'll do the blue first. Still got a bit of black in my brush. You always contaminate your brush. You've got to clean it out properly. This eye is probably a little bit bigger than this eye. I'm just going to tidy that up. Just shorten it a bit. Here we go. I'm getting fussy. I've got to stop doing this. That'll do. Oh, I'm just going to dash in those whites. Whenever there is a light source, whenever it's not pitch black, an eye will always have a reflection of where the light's coming from. So mine, we're going to do white dash there. Do the same on the other eye. White dash there. White dot. In fact, I should use the back of my brush. White dot. White dot. It's the eyes. I'm going to now work on the greys around the top part of the head here, and the ears. So it's going to be different mixtures from black down to grey. Let's start with this here. I'll put black base. Want the hair on his ear to stay black. Flick it up there. Alright. I'll wipe the black off my brush, but I'm going to put white on it. But because there's still a bit of black in there, it's going to go a bit grey, which is fine because just plain white would look, just looks like it look like I haven't painted it. So I've got a bit of grey on there now. I'm just going to put some white over the top of it. make this part a darker part of his ear. Do a bit of lighter part on this side. I'll do a lighter bit up the top of his ear too, just to break it up a bit. Right. Now I'm going to go with that medium flat brush, get some grey over this area. This is a base coat, so if I miss something, it's not going to stand out. Now this cat, I'm working on the theory that this cat, the top of his head is black, but if I just painted everything black, it wouldn't look good at all. So I'm working on the theory that light is reflecting off the glossy coat of the black cat, and that will turn it a grey colour. So if you're not sure what I mean, bear with me for a minute and you'll see as I finish that there's going to be more black on here. At the moment I'm just filling in that base coat of the grey. Right, so there's the base coat. Now I'm going back to the medium round. And now I'm flicking in the streaks of black fur. Run some down this way. And some up that way. I'm flicking some off the top of his head there, just some grey, black, just so it just looks like there's fur everywhere. I don't want to overdo it. If you overdo it, it's just going to end up in a blob. I think the eye might need just a bit of highlight around it once I've done this. Now I'll do under this eye with the black. And his hair down the side of his face here. Add a bit of water to the paint and the brush because it's not filling up the gaps on the canvas. So a wetter paint will. Alright. I'm just going to put some white around the eyes, some white hair, just to help the eyes pop out a bit. Got to go with that smaller brush for these strands. And some white flicks of hair at the top here around his ears. Right, yeah, I'm just going to let that dry for a while now. Right, now working on this part of the cat's going to be white, very light grey white. So I want under his chin to be a medium grey, medium to light grey. So at the moment I'm just filling in that lower area. Now, let's get the white. And the brush. And the brush. And a little bit of grey will come out of that white, which I just realised. So once again, I'm just putting a white base in at the moment. Gives me a wet surface to work on. And canvases, generally, when you get them, aren't friendly to adding new fresh paint to them. They like to grab hold of the paint. So once you get a base down, it'll run smoother. Let's run some white up the top through his eyes. That brown's going to contaminate, that grey's going to contaminate the white, so I'm going to stop there. Right, now I'm going to go with some grey shading in that white, and just get some detail into the whiskers on the side. Snout, I should call that area. Then I've got to get a smaller brush, go with the medium round and use the tip. Get some white whiskers in. The reason I'm not going with small brushes, I'm trying to avoid doing too much detail work. The smaller the brush you go, the more you're tempted to put more detail in. Grey back into that. Right, now I'll use the smaller brush just to get some whiskers. In fact, I've got to do the detail on the face before I do those whiskers. So it just gives a couple of hairs on the side. Turn the brush upside down, just do some scratching. Don't overdo it because it just looks ridiculous if you have too much. But the scratching does give you an idea of direction of the fur. Soften some of that back up again. And I'll do those whiskers a bit later when it dries out. Just going to get a pinch of red because I want to put some red in that nose. One sec. So I've got that pinch of red. Just leave that medium round. Now the ears, I've used that skin colour. I want a pinch of red in it and white. It's got a pinky colour. So under the nose, the nostrils. Now I'm predicting here that it's going to dry a little bit darker. So I've lightened it up a little bit just to allow that fluctuation. Now I'm going to add some white to it to do the owl part of the nose. And then the small brush, add a pinch of black to that now. I will much it all just to darken it a bit. Get some of that off the brush. Got a darker edge. The crease up the nose. Now, run a black, not fully black, just a pinch of white in it. This is for the mouth. So this will come down there, there. Just put a bit more in that nose, just to help it stand out a bit more. I'm tutting because I'm rushing. I think I need a bit more red in that nose. Bit up there. Not happy with the nose, but at this stage I'm going to leave it because I can't see what's wrong with it at this stage. Maybe the frame it with white. Down under the mouth. Just a bit of pink. Right, let's do some whiskers. Do I need the whiskers yet? Yeah. Whiskers are going to come out from there. Look. I'll do white first, but it might need black whiskers. I'm not sure with this. Try a bit of black over it. Not sure what it looks like on the screen. Yep, not liking those whiskers. They're not flowing smoothly. So I'll let that dry out and I'll come back to that. Now, let's go with the bigger flat brush. I'm going to work out what I'm doing at the bottom here. I'm going to start adding purple into it, I think. I want the outside edge of the cat to be black. I want some grey in there to break that black up. Just get that pattern black first. I'm just dipping white into it. is sometimes you get to that spot where you think, oh, geez, I just need to stop. Nothing's going right. This is the moment. Oh, that looks terrible. Shotgun, I know. But let's do that really first.
If you found this video entertaining, helpful or inspiring, we'd love for you to consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that notification bell. Subscribing will ensure that you never miss out on any of our future content that we create especially for you.